Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. The high school state football championships are coming up this weekend, so we've got KHSAA Julian Tackett, the commish, in with us to kind of, it's new this year. There's a whole new format, so we're kind of, dealing with some first year kinks, but so far so good when you look at the matchups. First of all, kind of tell us, Julian, what the change was from last year for those who are not familiar with it.
Well, we have numbered the state from 1 to 8 from Paducah come east for years. And several years ago, our schools, fans, everybody started complaining about the matchups were the same every year. So could we do something different? So the board started randomizing pairings. They said, okay, this year we'll pair this district over here. Well, what they did there was create an unbelievable amount of travel in our state. So this year they said, let's stay close. The board, who are educators, they listen to school people. So let's stay close in these first rounds. And then when we get to those, those third and fourth and fifth round games, let's try to have the best games possible. And to do that, let's find some kind of ranking. And we settled on the RPI, which is used in about 30 states. Max Preps originated it.
And people are familiar with that from college basketball.
They're used to the terminology.
RPI, yeah.
They're used to the terminology. And this was something that we could maintain because we've already got all the scores, we've already got all the data. It does not reward you for running the score up. It does not even care if you won by 1 point or 21.
Okay.
It's a victory. And so it's really a function for sports nuts. It's a function of your record and your strength of schedule. So what it has resulted in is games that this week, the RPI was pretty true to form. The teams won. We never predict who's going to win. We never pull for anybody. But at the same time,
but you want a good game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what people. If people complained that the final game was a blowout, okay, let's make the final game a little bit more challenging. Well, now they'll complain that the third round game's a blowout. There's going to be some complaining no matter what you do.
Sure.
But at least there's good games this weekend.
Because I think the early complaints may have been, well, we're playing a team in the first round of the playoffs that we just played last week or 2 weeks ago because they're in our district.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about that, in every other sport, baseball, softball, basketball, they will play those district rivals on Wednesday night and come back and play them in the district tournament on Monday and have done it for 75, 100 years. But in football, it's just different. And it's just gives somebody something to talk about. As long as you're having an organized football championship, somebody's going to complain. But one of the coaches this weekend who was on our advisory committee, I've attributed this quote to Chuck quite a bit. But Chuck Smith at Boyle County told me one day, he said, it really doesn't matter. You got to win 5 games to get the big trophy.
Yeah.
Whether you play a tough team early or an easy team early, you got to win 5 games.
Nobody
and you're
knows
dealing with
that
high
better
school
than
age
Chuck.
kids, and he certainly does.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two about that, and he's going to be playing for another state title. Let's talk about the matchups a little bit because this thing gets started Friday afternoon. Actually,
right.
Paintsville and Pikeville is the first game, and I couldn't be more excited about this one because they did play in the regular season.
Oh, yeah, and played a very close game.
Pikeville won 9-8. You rarely see that score, but these two teams don't have any love lost. That's going to be a battle.
No, and it's just 2 small independent districts.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of rivalry there. I jokingly told a friend of mine who works for the transportation cabinet that they need to make the Mountain Parkway 3 lanes into Lexington for Friday because there'll be a lot of people coming up.
And that's exciting.
Oh, sure.
Having it at Kroger Field is also been awesome. But Class 3A is Bell County and Belfry. Again, powerhouses.
And what is it, 800 and some wins between the two coaches? So, how do you ask for better? A storybook Friday to start with.
I know. So Saturday, we've got Mayfield and Somerset, 1 and 2. We've got Boyle County, Johnson Central, 1 and 2. Neither one of those teams have lost a game all year.
Right.
Covcath and Douglas. That's going to be, I'm interested about that game because Douglas has blown out everyone.
Well, the other
Catholic.
The other thing that's really interesting about that game is you got 2 kids that played for Bill Cronin. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of that Georgetown philosophy in the way they play. They're best friends. And for about 3 hours, they won't be, the 2 head coaches. It's going to be really, really interesting. We've had a lot of inquiries, a lot of interest from the Georgetown College community and alumni group. They're excited about that. It's just something that you couldn't really predict.
Sure, we're talking about Eddie Evanston at Covcath and Brian Landis over at Douglas, so that should be fun. And then Sunday we wrap it up with Trinity and Male, and Male is ranked nationally, and Trinity's always good. So that'll be a fun game too.
Well, you get the two behemoth schools, good side for us.
Yes.
You know, now that Scott County's split, we don't have too many really huge schools, but they are two big ones. Male is in the top 10 in wins in the country in history. And Trinity has certainly had a successful program since Flagey closed and became Trinity. So it's, you really couldn't have scripted it any better to have a good set of games.
Well, and now if we can get the rain to hold off and the sun to come out, we really couldn't script it any better. We're very excited about the state football championships at Kroger Field. Tell us how we can get tickets.
Well, online on our website is probably the easiest way to navigate it at khsaa.org. There's a link right on the front page to order tickets. They can pick the game they want. They can pick which side of the field they want if they need to. It's general admission largely. There are some for those that don't like the cold weather or don't like what's predicted to be maybe a little wet Friday afternoon. There's indoor seating in the Woodford Reserve Club. So there's options. There's a price for everybody, and we're just grateful that we've got a good relationship now. And UK has stepped up, and we have partnered with several great universities over the years, and this is just the next evolution in that.
Julian Tackett, thanks so much for joining us today.
No,
We
thanks
appreciate it.
again for all you do to promote things.
All right. Stay with us. More Hey Kentucky right after this.